everybody, Andy from Barbecue with Boderman here. I am going to talk to you today about reverse searing a steak. What does it mean? Why do we do it? And most importantly, when do we do it? So I've got myself a pretty awesome steak here that we're gonna demonstrate. This is a 40-ounce tomahawk. Before we start cooking this steak, we have to talk about what is reverse sear. So the method of reverse sear is when you slow cook the steak first, bring it up to a certain temperature, and then you're gonna put your sear on last. Traditionally, it was the other way around. A lot of people would sear their steak, then finish it in the oven, finish it on the grill. However, they were gonna do it at a lower temperature to bring the whole thing up. The reason why we do this is to give a more even cook, especially on really thick cuts of meat. So this tomahawk, especially, this thing is like 2 inches thick. I'm a gigantic dude, so it's a little off for scale, but trust me, this thing is gigantic. If we were to do this in the traditional way of just searing it and putting it in first, you would see a heavy gradation where in the middle, that steak would be perfectly medium rare, but as you get to the top, it's gonna go to medium, and then medium well, and then well done towards the outside. So when we reverse sear on a thick cut like this, you're gonna get that beautiful medium rare all the way through, or medium if you want to. So why do we sear a steak? The main reason is for flavor. When you sear a steak, something happens called the Maillard reaction, and it's a series of proteins and sugars that are breaking down due to heat and essentially caramelizing. So you're getting a ton of great flavor, a little bit of sweetness, stuff like that. So when you have a really good steak that has that nice dark crust to it, it's not burnt, that is the Maillard reaction. And in that Maillard reaction, you get so much more flavor out of your steak. So you always want to make sure you have this nice sear on the end of it. Otherwise, you're going to have kind of a gray, lifeless piece of meat. Another thing I want to talk to you about with these steaks is temperature. So I always use an instant read thermometer to get my steak temperatures. This is the most important tool for any cook. I know there's a lot of stuff out there about if you push your hand and do it here, you can get close, but with Wagyu or more heavily marbled types of steaks, they're so tender and soft that that method goes out the window. You can't know. So if you have a good instant read thermometer, you can actually nail it every single time. If you want medium rare, I bring mine to about 125 to 127 degrees in the middle, and then let that rest for 5 or 10 minutes. It'll bring you up into that 130, which is medium rare. So remember, rare, 120, medium rare, 130, medium, 140. I don't talk about the other two. This is a 40-ounce Tomahawk Ribeye. What makes it a tomahawk is the existence of this bone right here. A lot of people have asked me, what exactly is a tomahawk versus some of the other cuts? This portion is the same ribeye that you're gonna get everywhere. So there's 4 different types. You have a boneless ribeye where this entire bone is removed. You have a bone-in ribeye where right in this section right here, the bone is left. And then you have a cowboy ribeye in which the bone is cut about right here, and then finally the tomahawk where most of the bone is still exposed. And you can get varying lengths of these. I've seen these 36 inches long. So really, this is the same cut. It's more of a presentation thing. When you see something like this on your plate, it's incredible. It makes you feel like a caveman, and you can grab it like this and just take a big old bite out of it. So that is the draw with these. First step is to season this thing. Now I've brought this out and kind of let it come up to room temperature. That's very important. You don't want to put a cold piece of meat on the grill. So I've got salt and pepper. That's it. That's what I like to season with on steaks. The main reason is because you don't want to put a rub on here that has a lot of sugar, especially when you're doing your sear portion, because that sugar will actually burn and that will give off flavors that aren't very good. We got the trigger preheated to 225 degrees. Nice and low. We're also gonna get some great smoke flavor out of this. While that tomahawk is slowly coming up to temperature, I'm gonna get my sear station set up. It's a pretty fun method to do. I use charcoal and a chimney, and then just one single grill grate over top. All right, this is looking good. So my ribeye took 1 hour and 25 minutes to go from room temperature to 120 degrees. Now that the steak is at temp, it's time to get that sear on. We're gonna do a minute or two per side to kind of get that good caramelization. Look at that beautiful crust. I'm gonna also make sure that I get a good sear on this fat to kind of render some of that down. This is my little crazy contraption, but if you don't have anything like this, the main goal of searing a steak is to achieve temperatures higher than 500 degrees. I can certainly do that on my Traeger, but I was already using that at a lower temperature. So if you have even a cast iron pan on the stove will work. You can do on a propane grill, on a charcoal grill. You just want a really, really hot temperature. So remember how I was talking about you're looking for that even consistency in here. There's no dark parts up here. It's medium rare all the way through.